Hey guys, this is Cliff from Roundtable Studios, the #1 place for anime-style 3D animations. So we're closing out 2019 and heading to 2020, and with that comes some fresh laptops that will be best in handling 3D animation in VFX. I created a 2019 version of this video and you guys seem to really like it, so I want to take another deep dive into not only which laptops you want to look out for, but what components and laptops you want to look for so we can maximize our efficiency. Now to start off, I do want to preface by saying that while laptops may be great, full workstations are going to give you the best bang for your buck as far as price versus performance. The allure of laptops are in its mobility, and as someone who is on the road often and takes their work with them, laptops to me are very important. Now, just like the last laptop list, these are my recommendations based on parts, specs, and price, and the best value for your dollar. So if you're in the market for a laptop or just looking for a bargain laptop you can get, this is a great place to start. Now, whether you are a Maya user like myself, or if you use Blender, Max, Cinema 4D, or Source Filmmaker, all of us are using a 3D real-time animation software that lets us adjust objects in 3D space. You may think that the computer, whether it's a workstation or laptop, is utilizing a graphics card when it comes to this, but this is actually the work of the CPU or the processor. The faster this thing is, the better speeds you will get doing anything that requires a lot of processing power. So like last time, the most important CPU feature to look for is a clock speed. The CPU clock speed is more important than having a lot of cores or getting a certain brand. If you have a low clock speed, your viewport will become slow and you won't be able to animate in real time. So my recommendation CPUs for the best laptop for animation is, wait for it, is the Intel i9-9900 series. That is definitely a mouthful. Or the AMD Ryzen 9 3900 series. Both of these CPUs are excellent for animation as they have a high base clock and will give you a great work experience. Now, you'll probably expect the graphics card to play a more important part in giving a smooth viewport and software experience, but that's really only the case in something like Maya or Max. I also use Unreal Engine, where full 3D time lighting and rendering is the norm, so this is where the GPU is going to kick in and be needed. I recently upgraded my graphics card to the NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1650, which is great, but I'm already saving my dollars to kick it up a notch. Now, I received a comment on my last video about NVIDIA Quadro series and that being the only thing that can run 3D applications. And then another comment that a lot of these items are too expensive and all you need is recommendations found on the software specifications for the programs you need. The software specs on the program page for the most part list the basic minimum requirements in order for the program to work properly without any hiccups. So if you have any sort of complex scene, you will run into complications. And on the other end, the NVIDIA Quadro series range from on the bottom end of like $400 to over $5,000, depending on which one you get. And not to knock anyone's workflow, but for the majority of us, a mid-range GTX will render out what you need just fine. GPU effects rendering. The better the graphics card, the faster it renders. The NVIDIA RTX 2000 series, specifically the 2080, is a great choice, while on the AMD end, the Radeon RX 5700 XT will hold up just fine. Both GPU companies have great cards, but if I had to choose, like I did, NVIDIA does seem to perform better. As a minimum, I highly recommend the GTX 1650. Now, when it comes to RAM, things haven't changed at all since last year. RAM speed isn't that much of a factor, but the size of the memory will do wonders when working on complex scenes, long animations, and multiple characters, high resolution meshes, images, and the ability to keep preview playbacks in your memory for comparison and checking the current animation state, if you don't have real-time playback. You will want to go with 8 GB of RAM as an absolute minimum and target 16 gigs for a much better experience. 32 gigs will help in some cases. Having more usually isn't necessary, but might help with extreme complex scenes, large textures, or animation simulations and dynamics that are not keyframe driven. The thing about RAM is that it doesn't seem to improve speed all that much unless you have too little. Then you'll notice a major difference. You definitely want to avoid having too little RAM. My recommendation for RAM would be 16 gigs of RAM. Now, in the last video, I recommended the MSI GS65 Stealth, which came with the Intel i7-8750, 16 gigs of RAM, and the NVIDIA RTX 1060. And this year, it's still a great laptop for animation, especially for its cost and specs. Of course, now I would opt for the RTX 2080 edition, which is clocking around $2,000 US at the time of recording this video. This will not only handle your 3D programs like Maya, Blender, After Effects, Unreal Engine, or whatever you need, but render complex scenes really quickly. You do have some other options, such as the Omen X2S by HP, which has a slightly stronger processor with an Intel i7-9750, but then an RTX 2070. So if you're really about that efficient animation workflow and what can take a hit on the GPU, then this might be for you. This is also coming in at $2,000 US at the time of recording this video. A third and worthy competitor is the Lenovo Legion Y740, which has the same specs as the MSI GS65 Stealth, but comes with a 512GB SSD instead of a 256, and it's 17 inches versus the 15 as we get in the MSI. So it comes in at about $150 more than the MSI, which is not bad considering the bigger screen and the bigger SSD drive. Which laptop are you thinking of buying? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Links to all the parts of the laptops are in the description. You guys really seem to respond well to animation equipment, so if you have any other questions, please feel free to let me know down in the comments. If you want to know what type of computer I'm using, click the end screen so you can see my computer minus the GPU upgrade. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.